Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program, and this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate. And it does it with Colorado Springs Real Estate Authority, Barb Schlinker, your home sold guaranteed realty. Now, Barb, with higher rates and fewer buyers that can afford a home, I would think that there are quite a few home sellers who have homes that are not selling. So, what are the reasons they're not selling? And more importantly, what can be done about it?
Well, Richard, I want to approach the subject kind of starting with big picture, only because that gives people an idea of what's going on. The reality is that right now, pending home sales are down by 6% in this local market. And I do a lot of research about uh, like national sales and real estate. I've got all kinds of graphs and bells and whistles that I can look at. And I watch a different video blogs and opinions about what's going on in the market. But at the end of the day, real estate is always very local. This is a very nice place to live, and people are moving here because of that. However, it's all about affordability. I just helped one gentleman search for rentals, just doing a quick online search when he found out we got a contract on his home. He's like, "Oh my God, I gotta move quick." But I was surprised when I looked at what was available for rent, how expensive it was. I mean, it's really an expensive place to live for sure. So pending sales are down, I think mostly because of affordability and that, people's incomes haven't risen to the point where, it's really very affordable. And it was when the rates are down. Another very important leading indicator are interest rates. So if interest rates drop, and they fluctuate every day of the week, a little bit here and there, but right now they're at 6.75% for a 30-year fixed. So if we see it drop down in the low sixes into the fives, we're going to see homes get snapped up. And you'll probably see more home sellers put their homes on the market, because then maybe at that lower rate, it'd be more affordable for them to improve their lifestyle. So what we're seeing right now is a lot of the home sellers have interest rates on their current mortgages that are really, really low, 2.5, 2.25, 3%, whatever it is. And they're not moving, because if they do move, then they're going to have to pay much higher, triple the interest rates to go improve their lifestyle for the next house that they're going to move to. We call that golden handcuffs. So I don't think they're going to move a whole lot, maybe slightly more than what we saw last year. But homeowners basically are sitting on these lower rates, kind of waiting for something to change as well. So that is helping current home sellers right now. But if you don't have the house prepared, the buyers are not going to make a commitment without being all in on your home. The other thing, I got a quote from a asset manager I used to work for. Now, what that term means is, back during the meltdown, I helped a lot of different asset management companies sell homes that were taken back in foreclosure. I still work for one right now. It's the asset management company for the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. And there's a few of those. It's a low percentage, thankfully, maybe 1% or less of the homes that are taken back in foreclosure. And many times those homes are very much cosmetically challenged. But the one thing they get right is how to price a home correctly. That's one thing that they know very, very well. And they typically price it very realistically, even below realistically, to make sure it sells in 30 days. But I got a bit of advice from one of them once, and he goes, "Look, you're my boots on the ground, my eyes in the market. I can't see that house. I can see the pictures you took. But if you see that the carpet looks bad, you need to tell me. I need to hear about it. And you need to whack off 4 to 7 times the cost of that carpet on your opinion of value, because that's what a buyer's going to pay. If the carpet's bad, they're just not even going to make an offer unless the home is priced very, very realistically." And in my opinion, you only get one shot to make an impression with a buyer. They're in, they're out, they're done, right? So all the stars have to align to get your home sold. You have to be prepared properly. You have to price it right, and it has to be promoted right just to get them in the door. But doing some research on affordability right now, I think the average household income up in the Denver area is probably about $20,000 a year higher than the Pikes Peak region, which is 93,000. So, home prices probably 540 is a median home price. Median rent, though, very high, almost 2,200 a month. So right now, though, if you go buy a house where the average price is 540, your payment for sure is going to be higher than 2,200 a month. I know, because we just bought one in another market to help our son. We partnered up on a house, and our payment's 2,200 a month, and we only borrowed 243,000. So it's going to be higher than that. So we're in a situation now where rent is basically less than owning, and they have to really want to buy a home to make it happen. So some of the things that could imply what the future trends are going to be in this market are the increasing of available homes. So if the supply starts kicking up a little bit, we could see some more sales going on. If the rates drop any, we're going to see more sales go on. And so what we're going to cover when we come back are the top things that you can do if your house is not selling. And right now we're talking about the reasons why houses are not selling. And if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900, or you can visit barbhasthebuyers.com, fill out any one of those forms. We will get it, and we will respond with our direct phone numbers. And part of what we do, if you're ready to sell, is a free in-home consultation on what to do, what not to do to get your house ready for sale. We'll share with you our 27,796 plus buyers, of which at least 100 of them are a high match for your home, and then give you a really good idea on what your home will sell for in that range and how much you'll put in your pocket. Richard?
Barb, we're discussing the why a house may not be selling issue. And we know the rising interest rates mean fewer buyers can afford the higher payments. But what are some of the other reasons why a house might just not be selling?
Well, Richard, like I said, I study a lot of different people that are data people. Most of them are kind of looking on a national scale. But what I like to look at are the local statistics. So pending sales are kind of a leading indicator of where we're going. And in 2023, we saw a lot fewer pending sales than we did the previous years. I think that's going to be higher this year. I just feel it. Election year, I think the rates are going to come down a little bit, and we're going to see some more buyers. So I think we're going to be seeing some activity pick up. But the problem is mortgage demand, even though they dropped the rates last month by 0.5 point, are down by 9.5%, right? So it didn't create more demand when they dropped the rate from just over 7 to the upper 6s. I think they're going to have to go into the low 6s to really get some attention. Mortgage applications are down. Buyer sentiment is probably at the lowest level ever. Only 14% of consumers think it's a good time to buy a home. That's terrible. And 85% think it's a bad time. So the sellers right now are only competing for 14 or 15% of those buyers out there, right? Because the rest of them are going to sit on the sideline and wait and see what happens. So if your house is not selling right now, you can partially blame the market and the interest rates. That absolutely has a factor. But if you need to sell in the next few months, there are some things that you can do. So one of the things that I think that you should be looking at is take a really critical look at things like the pictures. Now, have your very bold, unafraid aunt or uncle or family member just go pretend you've never seen my home before, look at the pictures, and tell me, if you're a buyer, what would you think? That's what I would do. The person that won't hesitate to tell you exactly what they think, those are the ones that you want to ask that question of. Because if they don't like the pictures, there's going to be a whole bunch of other buyers that you will never know about that decided not to come see your home just over the pictures. That's a marketing mistake. That's an agent mistake, and it needs to be fixed. Also, look at the competition. Look at the condition of your home. Little improvements like a little bit of carpet. I have another client that had the original carpet, and initially I tried to talk him into, I said, maybe we should replace the carpet. It's the original, dark color. It looks kind of old and tired. Nah, I'll just give a discount. And it just didn't work. Buyers go in and they look at it and the feedback is, oh, it needs too much work. Oh, I found something I like better. And so if that's the kind of feedback you're getting, you need to make some improvements to make it look fresh and move in ready. And then of course, pricing is absolutely probably the most critical decision you will make. And the market is going to tell you if you got it wrong. Don't panic if you're less than 100 days on the market. We just came off a period where back in October, the rates were as high as over 8%. Then they went down to 7 and stayed there for a month. Then they went down to 6.75. They've been there for a couple of weeks. And in the midst of all that, we had the holidays. So take a breath, and then take a really objective look at your home and look at the number of showings. Volumes of showings are going to tell you a lot. If you're getting 2 to 5 to 6 or more showings a week, you're doing good. If you're getting onesies, twosies, you got a problem. Something's wrong. You didn't price it right. If you're getting very few showings, you're 3 to 5% off, or you have a marketing problem. If you're getting plenty of showings, showing after showing after showing, but no offer, you probably got a condition problem. Okay. Or a slight price problem, either one or both. In the one that I just sold, we did not change the price. We changed the condition. Boom, we got full price. And then if you're getting offers, you're right on target. Stay there, just pick the right buyer. So that's how the market tells you. It's not the appraiser that tells you. It's not Zillow that tells you. It's the market that tells you whether or not your home is going to sell. But absolutely take a critical look at pictures, competition, condition, feedback. What are the agents saying? What are their buyers saying about the house? And I'm just going to walk through what I call a lightning round of why a home would not sell. Number one, is price too high? Number two, it needs too much work or updating. Over 41% of buyers won't even look at a house that looks like it needs updating. Number three, bad marketing or staging. Number four, the home has no curb appeal. We had a house a few years ago that one of my agents sold that it was identical to the one down the street that had a bidding war in the hot market, but the curb appeal was bad and the pictures were bad. And she finally convinced her buyer to go look at this house, and it was way nicer than the one that had bidding wars. It just had bad marketing. So number five is poorly photographed home. Floor plan, you can't do anything about other than try to either virtually or in person stage it, so they kind of overlook those things. Not being move-in ready is another critical thing that's very important. And then if you don't know what the buyers that are looking at your home are saying, if you don't know what that feedback is, that's a mistake too. Most agents are brutally honest with their feedback in most cases, or they're asking questions. And if they're asking questions, it should be explored further. And last, but second to last is any kind of odors. So if you live in the house, you may not notice odors, but I can tell you that other people will notice odors that you may not be able to smell. So bring over your aunt that is brutally honest with you, have her walk in the door and go, do you smell anything? Okay. And it could be good or bad. Like if you overwhelm the room with strong candles or those air fresheners, there is an assumption that you're hiding some smell. The one smell that always works are baking cookies. If you have the time to do that before showings, that's really good. But having a bad odor, pet odor, whatever, cooking odors, those have to be resolved. I had a broker that had a saying. His saying was, if you could smell it, you can't sell it. I always thought that was funny, but it's true. And then make sure your buyers have an emotional attachment to your home. You do that by, don't show it vacant, have them come in and visualize themselves living there. That's how it works, because buyers do buy on emotion. So, and also don't be afraid to ask for a second opinion. If your agent is not getting you a lot of showings and offers, there is something wrong, okay? And you won't be violating your agreement if you ask for a second opinion. It's okay to do that. My name is Barb Schlinker, and if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to have an in-home consultation on what to do and what not to do to get the most money for your home, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program and the owner proprietor of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. A short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing the top things that sellers just love to get from buyers in offers, plus Barb's hot new listings. You want to hear those.